Have you ever heard a child's laugh in an empty room? Keep watching to find out why it's the last sound you'll ever want to hear. Sarah moved into the old house on Elm Street, hoping to start fresh after a rough year. The house was cheap, too cheap, but she ignored the warnings. The townsfolk said it was haunted, but Sarah didn't believe in ghosts. On the first night, Sarah heard soft giggles echoing down the hallway. She shrugged it off, thinking it was just the wind. But as the days passed, the giggles grew louder and more frequent. They always seemed to come from the same spot, the attic. Curiosity got the best of Sarah, and one night she climbed the narrow stairs to the attic. Dust hung in the air, and old toys were scattered around. In the corner stood a rocking horse, gently swaying as if an invisible child had just leapt off. Suddenly, a small, cold hand gripped hers. Sarah gasped and looked down, but there was no one there. The giggles turned into whispers, calling her name. Sarah, come play with us. Her heart pounded as she backed away, but the attic door slammed shut, trapping her inside. Panic set in. She banged on the door, screaming for help, but the whispers drowned out her cries. Hours felt like days. Sarah found an old diary hidden under a loose floorboard. The diary belonged to a little girl named Emily, who lived in the house many years ago. Emily wrote about her imaginary friends who lived in the walls and how they loved to play hide and seek. One entry stood out. They said they want a new friend to stay forever. Suddenly, the attic filled with cold, unnatural laughter. Sarah's breath turned to mist as a ghostly figure of a little girl appeared before her. Emily's eyes were hollow and her smile was twisted. "Play with us," she whispered. Terrified, Sarah tried to reason with the ghost. "I just want to leave," she pleaded. Emily's smile faded. "No one leaves. They need you. We all do." In a desperate bid, Sarah grabbed the diary and read aloud from the final entry. Emily had written a rhyme to banish the spirits. As Sarah chanted the words, the whispers grew into screams. The attic shook violently, and the ghostly figures of children surrounded her, their faces contorted in anger. With one final shout of the incantation, a blinding light filled the attic. The spirits wailed and vanished, leaving Sarah alone in the dark, silent room. The attic door creaked open, and Sarah stumbled out, trembling and exhausted. She moved out the next day, never looking back. The house on Elm Street remained empty, but locals said they could still hear the faint giggles of children at night. Sometimes, the past clings too tightly to let go. Sarah escaped, but the house on Elm Street waits, its whispers promising that one day it will find a new friend to play with.